The summer movie season has recently come to an end, which had the usual share of blockbuster tentpoles, superhero adventures, and animated spectacles. I enjoyed many of those, but there were also smaller movies that did not get nearly as much attention, and I wanted to shout out a few I really liked, and I think deserve at least a trip to the movie theater, if they're still playing nearby, or an on-demand rental. The first movie I want to mention is Long Shot, a romantic comedy starring Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron. It was released a week after Avengers Endgame and got lost in the shuffle, but I found it to be highly entertaining and very funny. At first glance, it seems like the traditional setup, the schlub and the serious career woman who get together, but the filmmakers managed to flip that cliché on its head by having Rogen actually be smart, if a bit outspoken, and Theron's Secretary of State portrayed as someone who's able to mix professionalism with a laid-back attitude. I thought the political commentary was well integrated, and Rogen and Theron had solid chemistry. Next is another May comedy, Booksmart, about two bright teenage girls who decide to have a night of partying. Again, it seems like it will follow in the mold of a comedy like Superbad, but Olivia Wilde, in her feature directing debut, did a great job of showing the relationship between her leads and made some directing flourishes that helped heighten the comedy. Kaitlyn Dever and Beanie Feldstein work extremely well together, and the supporting cast also delivered plenty of great laughs, especially Billie Lourd as an oddball rich girl. I think Booksmart will be one of those teen comedies that will definitely grow a bigger audience through streaming, as it's a smart, funny, and somewhat relatable film. For something a lot darker, there's The Art of Self-Defense, a sort of twist on the Karate Kid story. Jesse Eisenberg gives one of his best performances in this movie as a meek office worker who joins a dojo and gets wrapped up in that world. The filmmakers show the effect the toxic masculinity of this dojo has on him, and there are some unexpected and occasionally brutal turns taken over the course of the story. However, it's also surprisingly funny in a deadpan sort of way. I appreciated the theme of this movie about how being meek and unassuming are not bad traits to have. The Farewell is a film that nicely touches on cultural differences, even among members of the same family. Awkwafina is mostly known for comedic supporting roles, but in this movie she's allowed to show her dramatic chops, and she's great as the lead protagonist Billy. We really see the bond and connection she has with her grandmother, and the difficulty as she tries to understand why the rest of her family would want to hide her medical diagnosis. Some of the best scenes either involve Billy interacting with her grandmother, or the moments where this family are just sitting around and talking. I'm not Chinese, so I probably missed some cultural references here and there, but I was still able to get emotionally attached to other aspects of the story. The Farewell is still playing on several screens in North America, and is also beginning its international rollout, so be on the lookout for this one. Finally, the last summer movie I want to recommend is Ready or Not. This is a horror comedy that takes its premise of a wealthy family playing a warped game of hide-and-seek and runs with it. The script is quite a funny one, and all the actors completely understand the tone of the piece. Samara Weaving, who plays the bride at the center of this game, commands the screen, and I think we'll be seeing a lot more of her in the future. The plot takes some fun and wild turns, and it ultimately becomes an entertaining thrill ride. The directors also know how to use the location to its fullest advantage. I wasn't quite sure what to expect when I walked into Ready or Not, but I was really pleased with what it delivered. The movie probably is not for the squeamish, although the violence is closer to what you might see in a Quentin Tarantino movie or an Itchy and Scratchy cartoon. Ready or Not is still in wide release, although I don't know for how long, so it's worth seeing if you have the opportunity. Anyway, those are just a few smaller movies that were overshadowed by the big dogs. Are there any movies you really enjoyed that probably are not going anywhere near $100 million? Throw in a few recommendations in the comments, and thank you for watching.